today's graduation event. On behalf of the men and women of the Paul H. Langford Enlisted P&D Center, welcome to the graduation ceremony for Satellite Non-Commissioned Officer Academy, Class 14-7, and Satellite Airman Leadership School, Class 15-2. At this time, I'd like to ask our most honored guests, the graduates of Satellite NCOA 14-7 and Satellite ALS 15-2, to please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Please take your seats.
Today we are fortunate to have with us many distinguished guests. It is my privilege to introduce our official party. The 7th Command Chief Master Sergeant to the Director, Air National Guard, National Guard Bureau, and our guest speaker, Command Chief Master Sergeant, retired Gary Broadbent, and his wife Linda. The Commander, IG Brown Training and Education Center, Colonel Jessica Myra. The Commandant, Paul H. Langford, EPME Center, Chief Master Sergeant, T.K. Stout.
We'd also like to recognize distinguished visitors joining us today. The Commander of the 134th Maintenance Group, Colonel Burl Lambert. Chief Master Sergeant for the state of Indiana, Chief Master Sergeant James Salway II. The Command Chief Master Sergeant for the state of Michigan, Chief Master Sergeant David Eddy. The first commander of the IG Brown Training and Education Center, Colonel retired Ed Morrissey. The ninth Commandant of the Paul H. Langford Center, Chief Master Sergeant retired Art Hefner.
At this time, would all other wing commanders, command chiefs, chief master sergeants, and first sergeants in attendance please stand and be recognized. Extremely humbled and grateful for those joining us remotely on the Air National Guard's Warrior Network. Chaplain Brewer, please come forward for the invocation.
Let us pray. Father in heaven, we are honored to celebrate the successes and achievements of these outstanding men and women. We're grateful for the sacrifices that have been made to be here and for their honor, courage, and commitment to defend the cause of freedom around the world. These graduates here today have been tried, tested, and proven worthy to receive increased responsibilities. And may they venture forth humbly and proudly, standing tall in all their pathways. Please bless them with the courage to do the right thing, to be true to their values at all times and in all places. We pray for our brothers and sisters who are now in harm's way, and especially for these airmen who will be shortly undertaking and defending freedom and democracy around the world. Please protect them as well as their loved ones back home, and may your presence be with us here during this holiday season and during this graduation ceremony, and always. For this we pray in gratitude. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Brewer. Colonel Myron, would you please come forward for opening remarks and the introduction of our guest speaker?
Chaplain Brewer, thank you. That was a lovely invocation. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, distinguished visitors, Chief Broadbent. Today is a grand day, a day of celebration. When I first met and greeted the students of the Non-Commissioned Officer Academy, I had a message for them, a challenge for them, and that was to focus on how they individually could be servant leaders. And I shared with them a quote from John C. Maxwell. Leaders may impress others when they succeed, but they truly impact others when their followers succeed. Servant leaders never pursue a mission at the expense of their people, but rather servant leaders earn loyalty and the best efforts of their people by serving the interests and investing in the development of those they lead. A servant leader leads others to succeed. So I hope you kind of contemplated that during the course of these last 2.5 weeks. When I met and welcomed the Airman Leadership School students, I talked with them about being transformational followers. And I shared with them a quote by Bishop Fulton J. Sheen. Civilization is always in danger when those who have never learned to obey are given the right to command. And I hope that was food for thought for you these last 2.5 years. Now I have one more charge to the both groups, and that charge is a theme that was brought out in the chaplain's invocations. My charge to you is to be courageous. You have been exposed to some very foundational and fundamental concepts of leadership and followership. You've been given tools and an opportunity to practice those in an academic environment. I challenge each and every one of you to have the courage to take that home and pull it out of your kit bag and use it so that you are better leaders and better followers in your organization. My faculty and staff, and I already told you this, I think the world of them. They have dedicated themselves over the course of the last 2 to 3 months to teach these things to you. You've taken these things on board, we've tested you, and we have determined that you have mastered these concepts, these techniques, these procedures, these processes. It's almost as if we've given you a seatbelt or a helmet or safety goggles or the best Danner steel-toed boots money can buy. Those items can't have a potentially profound impact on your life or save you in some sort of way unless you use them. Sure, seatbelts pinch and helmets mess up your hair, and sometimes goggles look goofy or don't fit right. But there can be some pretty profound negative impacts if you don't use them when you need them. And I would argue that things that you have been taught here these last number of months are just the same. Those techniques, those processes, those procedures, leadership and followership, skills and abilities. If you don't use them, you're going to be a disservice to your subordinates, superiors, and to your peers. So my challenge is to have courage, because you're going to run into some institutional indifference that may say, you know, that's what they taught you at the academy, but that's not how we do it here. Don't have it. Or you'll bump into that stodgy master sergeant who doesn't want to hear how it ought to be done well. Don't have it. Have the courage to respectfully press ahead and employ some of those things, because I guarantee you they will be the key to your success going forward. So I have the distinct pleasure and honor of introducing our guest speaker today. As was already announced, he was the 7th Command Chief for the Air National Guard. He started out in 1974 as a fuel specialist on active duty, and 27.5 years later, in 2001, he retired at the pinnacle of enlisted leadership for the Air National Guard. He is a 1985 graduate of this NCO Academy and a 1990 graduate of Senior NCO Academy. I suspect the things that he learned in both of those academies and in other academic pursuits and through the experiences throughout his career have been why he reached that pinnacle and was such a success and had such an important impact on the enlisted men and women of our Air National Guard. So I hold up our guest speaker's accomplishments as the example of how when you employ the things we teach you at EP&E and you have the courage to use them when you get home, it can lead you on a path to success. And I'll tell you, if you don't reach Command Chief Master Sergeant, it's not as if you failed. If you have seen to the success of your subordinates, you have succeeded as well. So I'm not going to waste another minute because I think we have a treat ahead of us in our guest speaker. So would you please help me welcome Chief Master Sergeant Broadbent to the stage.
Thank you, feel like a Sprint commercial. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Well, good morning. How are you? Are you excited? I'm excited to be here. This is such a beautiful facility, such a beautiful place. Such great things that go on, things that inspire you. So I'm going to ask you something. Did you develop a little bit of passion while you were here? Yes. That didn't quite sound like passion. I hear more passion on The Price is Right. Passion. You got to have passion in your job, right? Do you love to get up in the morning and go do your job? Do you love wearing the uniform? Do you like making great things happen? Do you like seeing the success of the people that you're charged with, that you're responsible for? That's the passion. I had that passion. I still have that passion. People ask me, how you doing? I said, if I was any better, I'd be you. Right? How are you doing? I'm ducky. I love the word ducky. I'm ducky. I'm always ducky. How's your day? I said, let me tell you, I am a toasted crouton on a bowl of tomato soup with a grilled cheese next to me. Life don't get no better. Right? I like the tradition the Colonel explained when they introduced Chief Hafner and Colonel Morrissey. 1 o'clock. That's good for senior citizens like me, because after 1, I'm pretty tired. Right? Chief Stout reminded me at dinner last night that he was the instructor here when I had the job as command chief. Right, Chief? What did I say this morning? How the heck did you get this job? See, I remember. Let me just a couple quick stories about Chief Stout. His career is coming to an end. Pretty good, right? Great guy though. But did you know he had a BMW? One day he's driving down the road, the BMW stopped running. And now he's pushing it into the BMW garage. The mechanic comes out and says, what's going on? He said, I don't know. It started idling real bad. It just won't run. And the mechanic says, let me look at it. He looks at it. Adjust a few things, fix it. He says, just crap in the carburetor. Chief Stout says, how many times a day I got to do that? Just don't get it. Just don't get it. This girl, he told me he's a very passionate, romantic guy. I was talking to his girlfriend and she says, say what? She says, let me tell you about this guy. There we are on Lover's Lane. Beautiful October night, a full moon. I got a hitch over. I'm nibbling on his ear. And all I say is, hey, you want to get in the back seat? And he says, I'd rather stay up there with you. Hard to believe, isn't it? Hard to believe where he's gone in his career. Leadership, I believe we make leadership very complicated. I feel leadership is simple. Leadership is about listening. This is your most effective communications tool out there, is listening. Listening with intent to understand. Listening to know where the people you're charged with, the responsibility, where they're coming from, or what your leadership is trying to tell you in the message. You know people that are like this when you're talking to them because they want to jump right into the conversation? You ever feel like they're not listening to you? That's because they're not. All they are doing in their brain is formulating their response. And they haven't even heard your story first. So if you want to be a great leader, develop tremendous listening skills. Speaking. I'm not in your shop. How many people like to do public speaking? I hate it. See? So what are the 2 things we all are scared to death of in life, right? Dying and public speaking. Imagine if you had to give your own eulogy. That would be the worst thing in the world. That would be just terrible, right? So when I was in high school, I can remember I broke the code on public speaking. I wanted to say something so bad in front of the whole assembly. And I can remember the sweat running down my armpits. I was all wet. And I'm like, I finally put my hand up and I said what I thought was the most profound thing in the world. The student body thought was the most stupid thing they ever heard in the world. But from then on, I have not shut up. You got to be a good speaker to be a communicator too. You got to get the message across. There's sometimes we have to do things as leaders we do not enjoy, right? And we all know leaders that put it off, right? Because they're hoping I might get promoted, or I might get transferred, or I'm going to retire, and I'll let the new person take care of that issue. I've been that new person many times. I walked into the shop with, what in the world is going on here? Why did I inherit this? Why didn't someone before me take care of these issues? And it's very difficult when you get to that point. You have to operate with empathy as a leader. You have to know your people. You have to know where they're coming from. You have to honestly ask them about their background. What are their challenges? What are they dealing with day to day? We're a unique organization, particularly the Guard and the Reserve, are we not? We don't see our people every day of the week for the most part, do we not? They bring in a whole host of issues that we are not aware of. If you're a good leader, you're going to want to know about that. And I'll tell you another secret. If you're a good leader, you should be the first one in your shop, and you should be the last one out. Because if you're not there to tell your people, thanks for coming, let's have a great drill, let's have a great training assembly, and you're not the last one to shake their hand and thank them for what they did that day, for what they do for their country, and reminding them to thank their family for the support that they give them and the sacrifice that they make, I don't feel you're doing your job as a leader. I think that is critical. People need to see you at the beginning, and they need to see you at the end. When they see the leader running out to get in their car, they're not far behind. They want to get out of there too. You know, my children are now in their mid-30s. That hurts me deeply to say that, by the way. That's why all this is up here. And I have great children. And if you want to talk about leadership experience, raising children, put it in perspective, folks. It's right there. Different uniforms, different titles, issues are different, but a lot of it's the same in essence. So my daughter, when I got the job at Tyndall Air Force Base, by the 1st Air Force, my children, I left them at 18 and 19 years old. In our house, we left them in New Hampshire. You want to talk about trust. And they were wonderful. But I remember we were going to go up and visit. My daughter called me up all excited. She said, "Dad, I met this guy." Now, no father ever wants to hear their daughter say that long distance. "Ah, Dad, he's everything. He reminds me so much of you, Dad." Never want to hear that. Although I got to tell you, I'm thinking, you know, I raised her pretty good. She's got good taste in men. So we drive up, get to the house. My daughter comes running out the door, and behind her is a guy with a dang dog collar on with studs in it. Looks like a pit bull from hell. Right away, I'm thinking, okay, I'm not seeing a connection with reminds me of Dad, because I never wore a collar with studs in my life in front of my children. So, that was always a private moment. But then he's pierced here, with a chain to his nose, with a chain to his lip, with a chain, he didn't have a shirt on in summer, chain to his nipple, chain to his belly button. I don't know where the chain went, but every time he moved his foot, he winked. That is scary. She did not marry that gentleman, by the way. Thank God. Prayer does work. Prayer does work. I have a tremendous son-in-law now and a great-grandson out of that union. Then my son Troy, 6'6", size 15 feet, great man, great man. Never had any class when it came to dress. You know that talk we all have to have with our son? Not that talk, the other one about you need to buy better clothes as you mature in life. As I get ready to retire from the Air National Guard, I said, "Troy, you need to buy some better clothes." He said, "What?" I said, "Well, your idea of dress up is a t-shirt with no holes in it. You got to get out of it." I said, "You're getting older. Your friends are going to be getting married." I said, "There's things going to be going on. You need to have a suit. I want you to have a suit." I said, "I'm going to be retiring. I'd like you there in a suit." I said, "If I were to die tomorrow, I'd like you to be there in a suit." He said, "If you die, I'll borrow one of yours. You're not going to need it." Now listen, how do you argue with that kind of lie? That makes sense to me, see? How do you argue with that lie? So my job as command chief, I got to travel 327 days a year, visit units all over the country, all over the world. Came to this institution a lot to meet the students, because I was generally interested in what their life was about, what they thought about this. what they valued in this institution. And when I spent my time here in 1985 for the entire 6.5-week course back then, I believe it was, I can remember when we all graduated and we left, I had a hollow feeling in my pit for about 2 weeks when I got home. Very strange feeling. You get home, you know, and you know what? You're missing all your new friends. You're missing all those people you've just experienced a very special time in your life with. Would you agree with that? I am here to tell you, throughout my career, I kept in touch with people from my NCO Academy days and watched. I was telling last night, there was one individual I called and said, hey, I made master. I made master too. Hey, I made senior. I made senior. I got you now. I made chief. Me too. I got chief last month. But when I said I'm command chief, I got him. I had a great career because I got to serve people like you. When I go to the units, the chiefs, no disrespect to the chiefs, always wanted to corral Broadbent, you know. Come with me. I said, no, I want to go where the work happens. I want to be down in the trenches. And that's another good quality of a great leader. You always have to put the focus on the people in the trenches that are getting the work done and getting mission accomplished. They need the accolades. Do not worry about yourself. Do not worry about being recognized as an individual. That will come through great leadership. You will be recognized. That makes sense? Has anything I said sounded difficult other than the piercings? So that's what I challenge you with. The Colonel was spot on with her words to you. Absolutely right in everything she just said to you. So I want to leave you with this thought. I want you to have an awesome day, because today, somebody thought about you. Congratulations on your accomplishment. I wish you great success. I hope you all strive to go to the Senior NCO Academy so that you become even better leaders than you are today. Do not forget the lessons you learned here. Do not be shy about sharing your experiences and your knowledge with those you are charged with. Do not be afraid to let your leadership know when you have a good idea and that you have a way to implement that idea, or you have a way to fix something that needs to be fixed in the unit. Leaders hate people that say somebody needs to fix this. You all have people in your unit called somebody? There's millions of somebodies. What your bosses want to hear is this: we're having a problem with this system, sir, and I think if you give me some time, I can come up with a solution for that and present it to you. They will fall on their knees and they will thank you. They will thank you for taking that kind of initiative. I wish you well, I salute you all, and congratulations.
Thank you, Chief Broadbent, for those words of wisdom. Would you please remain on stage for a special presentation from our class leaders, Technical Sergeant Yosway and Staff Sergeant Sanford.
Sir, on behalf of Class 14-7 and 15-2, we thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to spend with us. We made a donation of $280 to the Tech Top 3 for Operation Timber, a campaign designed to mill one of the oldest trees on campus. Due to the expansion, it was removed and will be transformed into heritage items that will be used around campus. Its legacy will continue to oversee students as it did from the early beginnings of the TEC. We will continue its legacy and honor. Thank you.
Technical Sergeant Yosway and Staff Sergeant Sanford. Chief Staff, would you please join Chief Broadbent on stage? During Phase 1, the sites were encouraged to take ownership of and build camaraderie through creating distinct site nicknames. Throughout today's ceremony, you'll hear each of the site nicknames.
We will continue today's ceremony by recognizing the individual achievements from this talented and outstanding group of NCOs and airmen. We would like to thank USAA and the Air Force Sergeants Association for graciously providing the awards for today's ceremony. As with any academic endeavor, there are those who stand out among their peers. While all of our graduates should stand proud having met the rigorous demands of enlisted PME, some have distinguished themselves through individual accomplishments and are deserving of special recognition. It's now time to recognize their efforts with our awards program. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience for these graduates, so please feel free to come forward and take photos of the award ceremony.
Alrighty, our first award presentation will be the first award presentation will be the Distinguished Graduate Award. These awards are presented to the students in the top 10% of the class. Their selection is based on objective and performance evaluations, demonstrated leadership, and performance as a team player.
Presenting these distinguished graduates their awards today will be our guest speaker, Chief Broadbent.
Alrighty, the distinguished graduates for Satellite Non-Commissioned Officer Academy Class 14-7 are from the 142nd Fighter Wing and a member of H Flight, Staff Sergeant Mark Amato. From the 114th Fighter Wing and a member of D Flight, Technical Sergeant Nicholas Bloomer. From the 189th Airlift Wing and a member of B Flight, Technical Sergeant Angela Doan. Unable to be with us today, but from the 175th Wing and a member of A Flight, Technical Sergeant Alvin Henson. From the 189th Airlift Wing and a member of H Flight, Technical Sergeant Jason Dermond. From the 142nd Fighter Wing and a member of G Flight, Technical Sergeant Alexander Kent. From the 114th Fighter Wing and a member of B Flight, Technical Sergeant Kyle Loudenslock. From the 134th Air Refueling Wing and a member of C Flight, Technical Sergeant Laura Morgan. From the 148th Fighter Wing and a member of F Flight, Technical Sergeant Denise Owen. From the 184th Intelligence Wing and a member of C Flight, Technical Sergeant Jonathan Sills. From the 157th Air Refueling Wing and a member of H Flight, Technical Sergeant Eric Stevens. From the 189th Airlift Wing and a member of D Flight, Technical Sergeant Matthew Ward. And from the 114th Fighter Wing and a member of I Flight, Technical Sergeant Jason Williamson.
The distinguished graduates from Satellite ALS Class 15-2 are from the 148th Fighter Wing and a member of I Flight, Staff Sergeant Kurt Brass. From the 148th Fighter Wing, a member of C Flight, Senior Airman Alexander Couturier. From the 172nd Airlift Wing and a member of H Flight, Senior Airman Evan Daly. From the 194th Regional Support Wing and a member of E Flight, Senior Airman Aaron the Kramer. From the 184th Intelligence Wing and a member of B Flight, Senior Airman Luke Broom. From the 194th Regional Support Wing and a member of F Flight, Senior Airman Billy Alton. From the 175th Wing and a member of B Flight, Staff Sergeant Matthew Jarowski. From the 183rd Fighter Wing and a member of C Flight, Senior Airman Robert Cart. From the 122nd Fighter Wing and a member of G Flight, Senior Airman Resi Kamala. From the 122nd Fighter Wing and a member of A Flight, Senior Airman William Richmond. From the 184th Intelligence Wing and a member of G Flight, Senior Airman Dustin Steinhilbert. From the 172nd Airlift Wing and a member of K Flight, Senior Airman Chelsea Thompson. From the 152nd Airlift Wing and a member of J Flight, Senior Airman Seth Tuya. From the 134th Air Refueling Wing and a member of A Flight, Senior Airman Andrew Weber.
Andrew!
From the 102nd Intelligence Wing and a member of H Flight, Senior Airman Christopher Winship. From the 164th Airlift Wing and a member of I Flight, Staff Sergeant Lowell Young. Ladies and gentlemen, the distinguished graduates of the
Award denotes excellence as a scholar and is presented to the graduates with the highest academic point total from objective tests to the performance evaluations. Presenting the award will be the Satellite Director of Education, Senior Master Sergeant Eric Bowman. Alrighty, the recipient for the Academic Achievement Award for Satellite NCOA Class 14-7 is from the 114th Lobos and a member of D Flight, Technical Sergeant Nicholas Bloomer.
The recipient of the Academic Achievement Award for Satellite ALS Class 15-2 is from the 184th Keepers of the Plane and a member of B Flight, Senior Airman Luke Groom.
Congratulations. Thank you, Sergeant Wilson. Our next award is the Commandant Leadership Award. Nominees for this award are selected based on demonstrated leadership and performance as a team player. This award is given in honor of Senior Master Sergeant Paul H. Langford, the first enlisted Commandant of the Non-Commissioned Officer Academy and Leadership School from 1968 until his retirement in 1981. Chief Langford began his military career in 1939 as a member of the Army Air Corps. During World War II, he served in the Philippines with the 27th Bomb Group until his capture by the Japanese. He was a survivor of the Bataan Death March and spent 3.5 years as a prisoner of war. Chief Langford served in uniform for over 42 years and continued addressing students until his death in 2008. His service record is worthy of emulation by all current and future NCOs. Nominees, please stand and remain standing as I call your name. The nominees from Satellite Non-Commissioned Officer Academy Class 14-7 are from the 101st Maniacs, Technical Sergeant Walter Dow. From the 104th Moose's Troop, Technical Sergeant Kyle Burns. From the 114th Lobos, Technical Sergeant Nicholas Bloomer. From the 121st Thirsty Scholars, Technical Sergeant Nathan Gavin. From the 127th Red Devils, Technical Sergeant Jason Martinez. From the 134th Smoky Dogs, Technical Sergeant Laura Morgan. From the 142nd Portlandia, Staff Sergeant Mark Amato. From the 148th Bulldogs, Technical Sergeant Denise Owen. From the 152nd High Rollers, Technical Sergeant Ernie Standout. From the 157th Wildcats, Technical Sergeant Timothy Hackett. From the 164th Memphis Blues, Technical Sergeant Christopher Cubis. From the 169th Swamp Foxes, Technical Sergeant Denise Bola. From the 175th Del Martins, Technical Sergeant Alexandria Woodring. From the 184th Fighting Jayhawks, Technical Sergeant Jonathan Sills. And from the 189th Center of Excellence, Technical Sergeant Matthew Ward. Presenting the award today will be our Commandant, Chief Stout. Okay, the recipient for the Commandant Award for Satellite Non-Commissioned Officer Academy Class 14-7 is from the 169th Swamp Foxes and a member of F-Flight, Technical Sergeant Denise Bola.
School Class 15-2, please stand and remain standing as I call your name. The nominees are from the 175th Warthog Warriors and a member of A Flight, Senior Airman Daniel Jenerick. From the 175th Warthog Warriors and a member of B Flight, Staff Sergeant Matthew Jarowski. From the 148th Bulldogs and a member of C Flight, Senior Airman Anthony Alexander. From the 194th Original Dream Team and a member of D Flight, Staff Sergeant Winston Brown. From the 194th Original Dream Team and a member of E Flight, Senior Airman Aaron DeCramer. From the 175th Warthog Warriors and a member of F Flight, Senior Airman Miriam Jarvis. From the 184th Keepers of the Plane and a member of G Flight, Senior Airman Dustin Steinhilfer. From the 172nd Wings of the Deep South and a member of H Flight, Senior Airman Evan Daly. From the 132nd Cyhawks and a member of I Flight, Staff Sergeant Kurt Brass. From the 152nd High Rollers and a member of J Flight, Senior Airman Seth Tuya. From the 134th Flying High and Passing Gas and a member of K Flight, Senior Airman Jonathan Dully. The recipient of the Leadership Award for Satellite Airman Leadership School, Class 15-2 is from the 172nd Wings of the Deep South and a member of H Flight, Senior Airman Evan Daly.
The John L. Levitt Award is the most prestigious honor earned by a graduate of any enlisted professional military education course. This award is named in honor of Sergeant John L. Levitt. As a Medal of Honor recipient during the Vietnam War, Sergeant Levitt demonstrated the embodiment of our core values, especially service before self.
This award is presented to the student ranked number 1 in the class. It is based on academics, peer and instructor appraisals, and performance evaluations. It denotes excellence as a leader and as a scholar. Presenting the Levitt Award will be our commander, Colonel Jessica Myron.
The top graduate and recipient of the John L. Levitt Award for Satellite Non-Commissioned Officer Academy Class 14-7 is from the 142nd Portlandia and a member of H Flight, Staff Sergeant Mark Amato.
Award for Satellite Airman Leadership School Class 15-2 is from the 152nd High Rollers and a member of J Flight, Senior Airman Seth Tuya.
Develop in our students the professional skills, knowledge, and attitudes required of leaders, supervisors, and managers in today's rapidly changing Air Force.
In pursuit of this goal, we challenge these students to comprehend and apply, to proactively participate rather than passively absorb, and to proudly lead rather than meekly follow. We insist on high academic standards, dedication, healthy competition, and the highest standards of personal conduct.
It's for these reasons we believe the most significant achievement of any one student can attain is a diploma which signifies the holder has completed this prestigious level of enlisted professional military education.
As we announce the graduating sites, individual site photos will be displayed on the screen. Please hold your applause until the end. Thank you.
Graduating today from the Satellite Non-Commissioned Officer Academy Class 4.
National are the 150th Legacy of Honor. The 150th Special Operations Wing's lead site facilitator is Master Sergeant Mark Lovato, located in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The 150th trains mission-ready air crews in special operations and personal recovery.
Representing Mississippi South.
As the commander, I declare these classes EPME complete and approve the award of diplomas to the graduates of the Satellite Non-Commissioned Officer Academy and Satellite Airman Leadership School. I hereby present diplomas to the class leaders, Technical Sergeant Yasway and Staff Sergeant Sanford, their representatives of each of the classes. My congratulations to all of you.
Within Satellite EPME, there are groups of individuals at each site that are also vital to the success of the program, and without them, we would not have these Satellite PME students graduating today. Would all of our site facilitators please stand and be recognized?
Finally, we'd like to recognize a group of professional airmen that pour their heart and soul into enlisted professional military education. A crucial piece of the Satellite EPME program are the broadcast instructors. Please give a round of applause to the Satellite NCOA on-camera instructors, Technical Sergeant Joshua Hatcher and Technical Sergeant Jonathan Kelly. Please give a round of applause to the Satellite ALS on-camera instructors, Technical Sergeant Joshua Thorne and Technical Sergeant Michael Wells.
Additionally, with the Phase 2 instructors, staff of the IG Brown Training and Education Center, please stand and be recognized. Special thank you to the Tech TV staff for making Phase 1 broadcasts and graduation possible. Chief Stout, would you like to share some final comments with the graduating class?
Thank you, Sergeant Kelly. You know, as Commandant, it is my honor and pleasure to oversee, along with Colonel Myron, the program of study that goes on here and the growth that we see each and every day. During Commandant interviews come through the office, I ask a series of 3 questions. And the last question goes something like this. Perhaps you'll be the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force one day, and you are called upon to add a 4th core value to our little blue book. And it is the toughest question of the 3. Most of them pause, perhaps recite the core values: integrity first, service before self, excellence in all we do. But it's usually pretty tough to come up with a 4th core value. And it's been a standard question of mine, and I have had trouble answering it myself. But today, I think I have stumbled upon the answer. That perhaps if it was asked of me, what would your 4th core value be, Chief Stout? I would add courage. The courage to lead and the courage to listen. So I challenge you, you enlisted professional military education graduates, that the lessons you learned here are life lessons. Have the courage to apply them when you get home. Congratulations and Godspeed.
Thank you, Chief Staff. We'd like to thank you for attending the celebration in honor of Class 14-7 and 15-2. Before they return to the field, the students will conduct a retreat ceremony to symbolize not only the completion of class, but also to honor those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in defense of our nation, to recommit to defend her at all costs. You are invited to join us at the flag poles to witness this occasion.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the departure of the official party and the